I don't know when it's going to be actually running, but I'm guessing we're live now. What's up, everybody? Haven't streamed in a while, but we're back. We're about to do a stream. I guess if anybody's out there yet, let us know how the volume sounds. We're going to try to play this video where Lance. Oh my God! Well, hold on.
What?
I'm hearing myself. I don't know from where.
Unmute or not sound something?
I don't know from where.
I hear it's from like the streamers. Our streamers.
I got it. It was from Twitter.
Oh.
Because I posted it up. All right, sorry guys. I was hearing myself loop back, and when you hear your voice loop back, you can't talk anymore, and you're like, what? So yeah, Lance of the Serfs, who you guys know, and you guys who probably watch me know that I call him the Canadian sea lion and make fun of his kind of ridiculous laugh. He has been on TYT. We all know he's like been a contributor there, and he's shown up in my mix videos I make. What's up, guys? Thanks for coming. So for a little backstory, I will let you I'll give you a little flashback here. Anna of TYT had put out a tweet, right? Or just a small opinion out there, right? Into the ether, saying she prefers to be called a woman and not a birthing person, right?
Right.
Anybody would see that as being completely harmless and a total non-controversial point, right?
Mm-hmm.
But suddenly, a bunch of people who call themselves their friends, maybe not friends, but acquaintances or former co-workers, people who have gotten their start from them, and people who, without a doubt, wouldn't have their careers be where they are now if it wasn't for TYT. As much as we make fun of TYT and as much as we don't like them or whatever, it is true that they opened the pathway for people like this to exist, for people like David Dole and Mike Figueredo. They do TYT type content. It's literally their kind of style of video, right? So, TYT launched this. The reason these people can get a crowd, and most of them are TYT crowds that they get, right? They suck them out of TYT and they keep them for themselves too. So imagine these people all have much thanks and respect to pay back to the Young Turks. And instead of having a stream of being charitable, or maybe even not having a stream and talking to them personally, privately, maybe telling them, hey, can we have a live stream where we can question you about this, get to know what you were saying? We want to be charitable towards you, right? There's no reason for these people to be uncharitable. But instead, they decide to go on a stream with people who are going to be uncharitable to them. And instead of defending their friends or defending people who helped them or, gave them the success they have today, they decided to turn their backs on them and just laugh it off or just not defend them, and just have a stream where one person is maybe one or two people are totally shitting on these people, right? And all their friends are just sitting there not doing anything about it and laughing, right? And it's a total backstab, right? I think any normal human being would look at this as a backstab, right? I was talking about this online, and some people would be like, "Oh, who cares? They're allowed to publicly criticize people." And well, while that is true, with strangers, if you are friends with somebody, you normally would give the charity, you know what I'm saying, to be like, maybe I'm misunderstanding what she's saying. Maybe I'm mistranslating this. I should give her a chance and talk to her about it privately, not bring it out in public, right? That's just ridiculous, right? And just have a private conversation and say, hey, what's going on? Maybe I missed something. Maybe and TYT is usually good with this. They'd probably be down to do a live thing, right? Like, and have all of these people on. Instead of this, they probably would have been down to have all these people on and do this live on the Young Turks, right? And have them question Anna and, have a good conversation about this. But instead, they decided to be total douchebags, right? And totally burn this bridge and then gaslight the Young Turks as if they're not the ones who are burning the bridge, right? And they're acting as if, well, you didn't do nothing wrong. We're just criticizing your bad take, like completely disregarding that they went behind their backs to do this live stream and all this shit, right? As if this isn't an issue, right? Let's see. I don't know if you guys can hear it. You see, already this is a woman just look at Lance instantly laughing. And it's like, you look how hard he's laughing. This guy's not really Anna, but you can see at least these two guys up here are trying not to laugh. I'll give them the credit of that at least, that they tried to be like, wait, I don't want to burn a bridge with Anna. Maybe at this point they weren't fully there to burn the bridge. So they're trying to be like, let me not fully laugh. Because these two from the beginning were trying to say, let's get it clear that Anna is not anti-trans, right? We're gonna, they have a long history, this and that. And there's some of the other people that are saying no, like that we should, she has a long history of bad Look, and then watching it back, he laughs, showing his intention, right? And this is where we wanted to watch this video because I think it's hilarious that Lance put out this video kind of being like, look, we didn't do anything wrong, but yet exposes himself for doing something wrong. He even watching this back, he laughs and says, it's all true. Like the racist stuff she said about Anna is true. That's what you're saying, Lance?
Yeah.
Your friend, though, maybe not your close friend, but at least an acquaintance who had you on TYT. You worked with her on the Young Turks. These people, they didn't pay you to go on, but they gave you tons of
Air
notice.
time. Yeah,
airtime. New fans that are going to show up because they show your face. And even though I would make videos showing how he was useless on the Young Turks and provided nothing to the show. But... yeah. Even more in the past, though, before we continue too, Anna's also had a take on police recently where she's been a tiny bit harder on crime, or I should say a little less soft on crime, as most of these lefties are, right? So they also had a problem with her with that, right? And that's a past thing too. And I think Lance had a problem. Then I made a video where it was Mr. Beast, right? The Mr. Beast thing happened, and Lance was one of the people who criticized Mr. Beast for doing something wonderful really for people that can't see. And let me drink some coffee here. And TYT made a video talking about how ridiculous it was for people to criticize Mr. Beast for that. He's like, hey, this is a win. Take it as a win, is basically Chank's point. And it was obvious that they were talking about Lance. Like, it was obvious to that, but they didn't mention Lance. They had like a little respect for him. They were going to mention it. Other people were saying this, so maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it wasn't about Lance, but to me, it felt like they were saying that to Lance. But after that, I hadn't really seen him on there much. I think it was on there like one more time, but I haven't really seen him on there much. And I had a feeling that it was going to be a point where we were going to stop seeing him on there. So here we go. Well, I'm going to be defending the Young Turks here, but you guys know I make video. You guys know by the videos I make that I'm not a Young Turks fan, but they are on the right side of this. And when they're right, we should give them the, the applause that they're, hey, you did it. You finally got it right. Like, good job. But, they're still going to be ridiculous and crazy, but at least they're going to be right on some things. Or they chose violence. Yeah, she did, though. I think she chose violence at the moment she made it a race thing and said a racist thing about Lance's friend, right? Or coworker. Like, I guess for me, this is why watching this, you start kind of getting the feeling that some of these people had a grudge. Maybe with Anna specifically or the Young Turks in general, but it looks like there's a grudge here. We'll see. Yeah, and mind you, these group, the people that they're all together with in that panel, they call themselves the leftist mafia, right? Like, what a accurate name for a group of people who gang up and attack others, right? And gatekeep their area, really. God, he's so terrible, isn't he? Is he gonna? Oh, this is the most cringiest thing. We'll watch this because it's just so cringe. Watch this. It's so bad. I don't get why people do like intros like this. They're so cringe. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm working on one now. Number 25 is a big one. It's gonna be extra
Wait,
long.
does the sound for the video come
But
through?
in that
I
case,
don't
it takes longer to make. All right, I can't with this. How corny is this? And then Lance is like Antonio Banderas. Like, why? What? It's so lame. I can't with this. Will Fay, who cares? Oh my god! And then look at the cartoon version of them. It's so lame. It's so good. The exact opposite of what I think about. Mm-mm.
I don't know if the sound for the video is going through.
Oh, this the sound of the video going through? Let me know, guys. Do you hear it?
No.
No, you don't. So we're gonna have to figure something else out. How can I get it for you to hear it? You're supposed to be able to hear it with me, which is very strange. Can you guys hear it in the audience? Somebody let me know. No sound. So how is that supposed to work? How do you do that? Maybe I gotta do something else. Hold on a second. Share screen. Let me change the share screen then. Hold on a second, guys. Let's see. Some screens let you share audio. Look for share audio check. Okay, so this kind of tells you which ones I can. None of them have the checkbox. Let's see if this works. Stop sharing view, StreamYard. Okay. Let me play it. Tell me if you guys hear it. You hear it? No, I guess not. All right. I'm gonna have to figure this one out. Mute screen audio. It shows here like it's there. Damn it. Why is there always problems? All right. Sorry, guys. Gonna have to figure this out. I have no idea how to do audio on this. I guess they changed it because there's a lot of different things here to do. My video. What? Damn, that's gonna suck if we can't do that. I might have to restart the stream, guys, on OBS or something because I have no idea how to do it. It doesn't really make sense, and I have no idea how to do the audio. Entire screen. Let's see what happens if I do this entire screen. If that works. No. No. All right.
Wait, give it a second.
There is no give it a second. If you don't hear it right away, you're not going to hear it. You're in here with me, right? If you're not going to hear it instantly, then you're not going to hear it. This one should work because it says the little volume bar shows up. Let me see. Yeah, this has a volume bar. I don't know why you wouldn't hear it.
Some girl tried to compare Angel Reese
Yeah.
to Sid from Ice Age. And that's when I really realized, babe.
Now I hear it.
Okay.
Y'all
There you
are
go, guys. That should work.
fucking haters, babe. Like, listen, haters. If I don't tell you nothing else about fucking people, they are haters, bro. Like, if you spend time on the internet, you will know that the app out there going to hell. Yes, sirree, Bob. Yes, sirree, Bob. Going to hell. Okay. Let me tell y'all something. The Express.
Look at him laugh like this is funny. This isn't funny at all, right? How is this funny in any way?
Train straight to
But you guys can hear it now, right? Okay, yeah.
hell.
Thank you, guys.
Be booked. It's going to be late. It's going to be late because they're gonna get stopped and stalled because of the traffic.
Well, he thinks this is funny. What's funny about this? I don't get it.
Booked to hell. Hell. Just now.
What is funny about that at all? What?
So funny, right? I like, obviously humor is subjective, and
I like how he had to say right after he laughed. He had to say, obviously, humor is subjective. So it's like he almost knows it's not funny,
Yeah.
but he forced himself to laugh to make it seem like she's funny. But, he's also wants to put out the caveat out there that it's like, humor is subjective. So just because I'm laughing doesn't mean that this is actually funny.
so I maybe some of you don't find that hilarious. I do. I thought that was fucking funny, but I wouldn't see this.
I know.
And then,
Like, why did he say it like that? Right? How weird is
especially
that?
if I had maybe some underlying beef or some underlying problems with Olayemi, and think, oh, this is my in. This is gonna be my chance. Here we go. Let's air some laundry. Okay, let's get this out there. Anna Kasparian. Oh, Olay. Do you mean people who demand people cook their friends? Those kind of haters? This was not what? No, that's not what she was talking about.
Yeah, no, that's not. Anna knows that's not what she's talking about. Anna's calling her out for being a hater because she's talking about haters and say some of these people out here are haters. She makes a whole video calling people haters because they said this girl looks like that character from Ice Age, right? And she said, "Oh, you mean haters? Like the kind of people who would go on stream and tell other people to cook their friends?"
Yeah.
It's totally makes sense here, right? Like, hey, remember that time you said all this, you were being a hater about me on a stream to my friends? And it's like, this is the funny thing that these guys don't understand is that woman during her rant, which we'll go through in this, during her rant about Anna, brought up past things that it was almost like she was saving in the files of her mind for when things finally went down with Anna, that she was going to bring back, she's all the propaganda she puts out and blah, 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 right? And she's been having tons of bad takes, right? And so, that this person has been saving this. This is where it's funny. Anna had been saving this to clap back at her at an opportune time, just like this, when she's ready to clap at her and go, "Oh, you don't like haters? This is the hypocrisy in your face because you did this to me, right? You were a hater to me." That's where it totally makes sense, and she's doing exactly what was done to her back at this woman. Right?
But then things accelerate, of course.
Thank you, Trash Fry.
What?
Everybody leave likes. Like.
Here we are in 4K.
Yeah, watch.
And you should be able to
It's funny because he's literally gonna play this woman bashing Anna on the stream, and himself, who worked with them or was friends with them, laughing about it, not at all defending her.
Those without like having to classify it as.
And would you do this? Like, think about it from yourselves and anybody who's listening to this. Would you do this yourself if a friend of yours or somebody who helped you launch your channel, somebody you like a lot, that's been done well by you, never done you wrong, amplified your channel, all this kind of stuff, paved the way for you to have the career that you have today, and you're on a stream with somebody who's talking shit about them, whether you agree or not, that's your friend, right? And you would either say, "Whoa, let's calm down. Let's give her the charitability to find out what she means by that, right? And let's go talk to her and find out what she means." Or you would leave. At the very least, if you want to be a bit more cowardly, you could just leave and let them talk the shit and just not be associated with that shit and be like, "I don't want to be a part of this," and be out. You could, even that would be saving some face in this, right? But instead, laughing about it, then making a video afterwards, watching it back again and laughing again and being like, "But it's true." You're basically exposing your intention here. You agree that with the racist things this woman said about your friend, you agree with all the things that she's saying and wants to throw in her face and telling her that her friends need to cook her. Right? You agree with that. You say it.
But you shouldn't get mad at her for this because of her history. No, I mean, no one's mad at her for her history.
I mean, first off, no one should be mad at her at all. It was her opinion about herself. It wasn't an opinion that anybody else should be mad about. She's talking about what she wants to be called herself, not anybody else. She didn't say, "Don't call any other woman out there a birthing person." No, she said, don't call me a birthing person. I want to be called a woman, right? This is not controversial at all. And in fact, is part of the trans argument. The trans argument is that they want to be called what they want to be called. Don't call me something I don't want to be called. This is what I want to be called. Literally what Anna did. So why is that a problem, right? So it shouldn't be controversial. Nobody should be mad about it. So it's even funny that when they're saying, hey guys, relax, the top two guys, that Matt Binder, who I think had a bone to pick with Anna in the first place, because he talks about earlier in that stream, if you watch it, he talks about, oh, she worked with my good friend Michael Brooks before he died. That's my only connection to her. I never been on the show. It kind of seems like him saying that is like he kind of holds a grudge for them, never like giving them the invitation to come on the Young Turks and all this stuff. That's what it kind of seemed like he was saying. And Anna never really communicated with him much after that. He was like, oh, she likes my tweets and retweets me sometimes, but that's it. So it kind of seems like he has a bone to pick. So the top two guys on the left defend Anna to an extent. They try to give her, say, oh, we know she's anti-trans, blah, blah. And they try to calm it down for a bit. But once it pops off, they just stay quiet and don't say shit. And they smile, and you could tell they're trying to hide their laughter. But at least I give them that much that they understand how douchey it looks, and they're trying to hide their laughter.
Makes sense if you want her to change her mind and to understand what she did wrong.
Yeah, but what changed her mind? What did she do wrong? You know what I'm saying? This is so ridiculous. And this is why I understand why the Young Turks are upset, or why Anna's upset, and why Cenk is out there defending her. Because what did she do wrong? It's an opinion about herself. Why is she wrong about that?
Yeah.
She's wrong about what she wants to be called. Like how?
I don't get it.
How does that make any sense? Imagine it was a trans person and they're saying this. This shit would implode. A pocket dimension would appear and suck them into another galaxy. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Because if without that context, like again, that's why it's important if you know her that you do include that context, because she has to understand these disagreements are coming from an honest place, and we're not just doing it for clicks, right? Like that's so.
This is a lie, because if you weren't doing this for clicks, you would have talked to her privately first, or you could have set up something with the Young Turks. Like I said, they do that all the time, where you can go and have a conversation with them. They do shit like that all the time. They had fucking Dennis Prager on. They'll have you on, right? You know what I'm saying? So it's bullshit that they're like, this is not for clicks and stuff. It's obviously for clicks, right? Because they would have talked to her. So maybe, or again, there's 7 people on this panel. Maybe 1 or 2 of them aren't doing it for clicks, and maybe the rest are. Who knows, right? But either way, someone's doing it for clicks on here, and I'm betting it's this chick right here. And Lance is all too happy to indulge in that.
But that's not the same. That's not the same, though. That's not the same.
I have to say it. Oh my God, I have to say it. I like Anna, but I feel a little bit like this is the coddle the white lady hour.
Now, personally, I find that racist as hell that she says coddle the white lady hour. Not only is it racist towards Anna, but I think it's calling every single other person in this panel and everybody who knows Anna on this panel a racist, because they're saying you guys are coddling a person based on their skin color. So they're saying you see Anna as a white woman, and that means you're coddling Anna because of that, right? Literally calling them all racist on this panel. And they're too stupid to recognize that. Lance starts laughing because he's too stupid to recognize that he's calling, not only is she calling him and his friends, David Dolan, Mike Figueredo, who she's talking about right now, when they were saying, let's not just jump to calling her anti-trans, guys. She has a long history, this and that. She cut them off to say this, to say, I feel like we're playing coddle the white lady hour. So literally telling those 2 guys that they're racist, right? To their face. And they don't even recognize it. And they sit there with their mouths shut. And Lance laughs about it, right? So Lance is laughing about his friends being called a racist by this lady while she's being racist about another one of his friends, right? Think about that. This is how despicable this person is. And he sits here and gaslights them about it. Like he didn't just sit there and do that shit, right?
And you know why? I thought
look, there he goes. No, he paused it right when he starts laughing. Right?
It's just that Lance is just here for and laughs his ass off. So I saw the memes, by the way. I saw a bunch of people who just took screenshots of me laughing.
Yeah, because it was a despicable thing you did, laughing at her being racist towards your friend. and like thrashing her without giving her no charitability. Friends give friends charitability. This is like rule number one of being
Exactly.
friends, right? How can you be friends with this person and then have a stream where people are treating your friend uncharitably and you just sit there and laugh about it?
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous.
Stop.
This even earlier because before this, the Majority Report put out a thing too, and everybody else, and I was like, boy, everybody sure feels the need to trip over their fucking feet to come out to defend her. Forget
Yeah, because that's their friend, right? Friends usually defend friends. Look who she mentioned, the Majority Report. You mean like Sam Cedar, who's friends with the Young Turks? Or Emma Viglin, who used to work with the Young Turks, now works in the Majority Report and is like one of Anna's best friends personally in real life, right? Or you mean those people? Yeah, obviously they made videos defending them. Yeah,
Yeah.
because that's their friend.
and cook when all of the people get cooked all the time. Nobody fight.
By the way, okay, for the record, I'm holding this shit in. I'm trying to be as
Yeah, but why are you holding? You
Like,
shouldn't
never
even want to be
play
laughing.
poker, Lance. Never
Yeah.
play poker, or do, because I'll sweep the table. Anybody would sweep
Yeah.
the table with you. You
Terrible
know?
poker face. The
Hide
two
it.
guys on the top left have way better poker faces. They're trying to hold straight. And you see later on, they start kind of smiling a little bit, but they try their best and do way better than Lance holding in their laugh. But it's like, God, you really laugh like that about her talking? You know, this is where I say, I feel like he has a grudge with them too. Because
Yeah.
why would he laugh so hard? He was waiting for this. Like he
Mhm.
was waiting for the day. Maybe the times he's been on there hasn't been that great. Maybe since that last beef with Mr. Beast, he caught some sort of like,
He's been
anger or
privately
something.
told,
Yeah.
we're phasing you
Mhm.
out. Sorry, it's not worth
Or
it.
maybe or that. I think either it could have just been like he knew they were talking about him and then he caught like some sort of pissed offness,
Mhm.
or like you said, they kind of start edging him off and they're
Privately
not
saying it.
messaging him anymore since then, and so
Yeah.
he's like, fuck it, I'm gonna burn this bridge. But there really was no reason for him to do this. At any point any of these guys could have gone, whoa, but hold on, that's my friend, like don't
Yeah.
talk about my friend like that. Or I think we should be charitable, or at least give the argument like, no, I think you're wrong, and I think that she has a long history of paving the way for this industry, being our friend, and I think we should be charitable towards her instead of how you want to handle it.
It comes off like kind
Professional-
of like just a child reacting to
Mhm.
get the attention. So
Mhm.
they can't be patient or even just extend a message
Mhm.
outward. They've got to flail out like this, and now they've got the attention.
Right, exact opposite of what David Dole was saying about not being here for clicks and views and shit. That's what Lance is doing.
As possible. This is a lot of effort going down here, okay? And I am cracking. Fair enough. I'm breaking apart midway through because I can't agree more. Honestly,
Right, there it is.
There
So
it is.
he's agreeing that this is coddle the white lady hour, racist,
Mhm.
right? That's a racist thing. He's agreeing that David Dole and Mike Figueredo, by saying we should be charitable to Anna, are coddling the white lady because they're racist, and only racist people would coddle white ladies, right?
Right.
Only somebody who's racist would coddle someone because of the color of their skin, right? So Lance is laughing about this and literally saying that this is true right here. What she is saying is true. What she is saying is that David Dole and Mike Figueredo are racists and coddle Anna because she's white. And so are the Majority Report and most of their friends. Anybody who is trying to defend Anna is coddling a white lady based on her skin color.
it's one of those things where, like, I feel like all of us were so nice and friendly. I still am.
I feel like all of us were so nice and friendly. Right after he shows himself laughing.
Like a fucking
This is what I'm
weasel.
saying. This is almost like gaslight. Like he's turning off the things that people are actually upset about, completely ignoring that, and then only going by everything else, right?
Right.
Like it's total lies of omission. But he just showed you it right here. Him laughing and saying that it's so true. The coddle the white lady out. He's saying that's true and laughing about it, and then says, I feel like we were so nice. What are you talking about?
You'll notice, and I don't know if this is just a reflex, but yeah,
You didn't even off the first step of not going to her first is already a betrayal of your friendship,
Yeah.
and the things they've done for you. Total betrayal.
because
Ooh,
and I
that was loud.
by the way, these can be two simultaneous thoughts. One, there is a breadth and a history of work that Anna and TYT have done in terms of pushing progressive and actually putting fundamental pieces in play for progressive movements in the United States, like the Justice Democrats, etc., to actually have political power. Holy fuck, that, like, we should all be humbled by
Right, which is makes it extra weird that you would just totally backstab them like this
Yeah.
instead of just going to them first and finding out, what's the deal, Instead, you decided to do a live stream with a bunch of people who were gonna bash your friends, and you were gonna sit there and laugh and not defend them,
Mhm.
some of those achievements. Them, as much as like I shit sometimes on Kalinsky's takes, or I'll shit on Jank's takes, or shit on Anna's
Right,
takes.
but this is the gaslight. He'll keep trying to say,
Oh shit. Oh shit.
yeah,
Oh shit.
he'll keep trying to say that the beef is all over a disagreement, which it's not. Right, and that's what he keeps trying to gaslight it as, that, and saying, and but he keeps saying, we don't disagree, so I don't know why they're upset. If we don't disagree, why does he keep thinking there's a disagreement? But meanwhile, there's no there is a disagreement, but the problem isn't the disagreement, nor is Jenk saying that. Jenk is saying it's okay for us to disagree. The problem is that these people backstabbed them, right? These people went on a stream and talked shit about them like a bunch of vultures. The second there was blood in the water for TYT, these guys ran on stream like vultures and started circling the bodies, waiting for the blood to come out, right? And started pecking at the eyeballs and shit.
That is one hell of a fucking accomplishment, and more than I can say for myself, right? So I'm not here to be like, fuck them forever. I fucking hate them. How dare
No,
they?
but if somebody else was doing that on a stream with you, you would laugh and not defend them, right?
Like I was on Unbossed last week on Tuesday, right? That's not what this is about. You can 100% have a very good faith and respectful conversation with people.
Oh, yeah, that could have been. That is exactly what's funny is this is exactly what Jenk is saying. Like, they could have had a respectful conversation, but when you go behind their backs and do a live stream to have this conversation with people who are going to be hard on them, and you don't defend them,
Right.
then you've turned your backs on them, right? And now they don't want it. Vosh asked. We saw a clip of Vosh ask. Oh no, or I don't think Vosh asked. I think a fan or something wrote in and they read it.
This girl, I think, wasn't it?
No, and they wrote in, and Anna said it was a thing from a fan who said, "Will you debate Anna on this?" He said he'll come on and have a peaceful, charitable conversation with you on this. And Anna was like, "Vosh called me the R word recently over something." And he thinks that means, he wasn't so I'm going to give him the same charitability he gave me that time and say, no, I don't want to talk to you charitably, and we're not going to have a discussion on this, right? Which they totally have the right. They would have been willing to have a conversation about this with all of these people if it wasn't for them going out and acting in this fashion. They are trolls. I don't mean trolls in the way as internet trolls. I mean, they trolls like monsters, right? They go out to hunt like bloodhounds, like vultures. They're looking for the carcasses to like pick off of, right? And TYT is getting old or something. They're starting to change, and we've been noticing this progressive turn, or more moderate turn of TYT. And Anna's been calling out Jenk when he's saying straw man and stuff like that, and she's like, Jenk, that's a straw man, stop it, let's not do that anymore. What up, Devin?
Hey, Devin.
And she's been calling it out. She's been having different takes on, like I said before, slightly different take on police. Okay, it's not like she's gone super far right wing on police. She's had a slight different take, but in general, it seems like Anna's starting to make a change towards being more reputable, having more integrity, because the Young Turks are seen as a joke. The whole reason I do my channel and do TYT mixes and stuff like that is because they are a joke, right? And they're viewed that way. So I guess, themselves. Yeah, exactly. They dunk on themselves, basically. And I know they still will, but to some degree, it seems like Anna wants to get some respect back into the name of the Young Turks, right? There's not going to be a lot, but at least maybe a little more. And, out of this, I could say I do respect Anna a little more for standing up to herself and standing up to these people. And I respect Jenk for standing up for Anna on this situation too. Like those are respectful things that they did. And it really exposes these people who they created themselves and act just like them too in other times. And hopefully the Young Turks will stop acting this way now, right? But if they still do, they still do. But in the end, it really exposes all of these people as total scumbags and backstabbing losers and, total vultures, just looking for people to, you know what it really is? It's cancel culture. These people are obsessed with cancel culture. And any type of thing that happens, any type of event that disagrees with them, it's time to round the lynch mob. You know what I'm saying? Get your torches and forks ready, and let's start up this stream, and you know, and hunt them down.
It's almost like leeches. They're just
Yeah,
like
total
sucking
leeches.
anything off of you.
Hope you're feeling better, Devin.
People with whom you respect and disagree with. That's what everyone was doing. And everyone continues to do. I know I made it in the fucking Daily Mail. I'm for the first time ever. Hi, Mom. Because of like
skip through this.
Anybody defended me from getting
Oh,
pull that up
maybe not.
because you'll see how nice they were.
I have yet to watch a
You
video.
can. Hey guys, pull up this video. You could see how nice they are. He pauses it, and this lady's all up in the screen yelling and shit. Everybody looks extremely morose except for Lance, who's laughing his ass off. David Dole, Mike Figueredo, even that Kenny chick, Matt Binder, they all look morose as shit, knowing this is it. This is that moment where the bridge is gonna get burnt, and Lance is laughing. Look at this. Insane.
Video of anybody defended me from getting fucking cooked. I've never seen it.
Ain't nobody defended me from ever getting cooked. You know, that's another thing.
What
is
a cop out.
she's
You always hear that.
she's like a friend of these people on this panel. None of these people on this panel have defended her before. Is that what she's saying?
Yeah.
You guys are my friends, but you've never defended me. So they're not your friends? Like, what's
And
going on? I feel like that's total bullshit. And she's probably been defended before.
People like that always say those things where, well, why do I have to be nice or you know, say something defending this person when nobody said that for me? So now I can go hard into you now.
Exactly.
Like,
and I didn't know this, but Anna said she had this woman on the Young Turks and did a panel with her where they did a whole thing to like and promoted her channel and stuff. So there's no reason for this woman to, but she brings up a point at one point that says that, no, she put out a tweet where she said that they offended her while she was on there, which is probably something they didn't know about. I'm gonna have to research all this. I might clip up a bunch of stuff to put together to see if I can make a little clipped out story. But it seems like she was on and maybe they said something that offended her, but they probably didn't even notice that she would take offense. It probably wasn't meant that way. Again, being uncharitable, all she had to do was be like, hey, did you guys mean to say that to me during that stream? Oh, we didn't even know you took it. You know what I'm saying? And it could have been handled. But, you know, people like this, they're looking for stuff. And this is like saving stuff for the future. When it's time, I'm going to save up this stuff. And this is what I was saying at the beginning. This lady seems to have saved up a bunch of stuff to bomb Anna with now. So she starts with, this is what's going on now. But let's not forget her take on cops, the way they treated me, blah, blah, blah. You know, and it keeps going. She's a white lady and all this stuff. Right?
I've never seen everybody come out. She has a lot of fucking bad takes, and then she gets cooked because she comes out.
She has a lot of bad takes. What bad takes has she had?
Can we just look at Lance?
Yeah, look at this. And it's like Lance can say, oh, I was holding it in. But Lance, look at everyone else on the panel. No one else is laughing. You're the one. You're the only one. You know what I'm saying? It'd be a different thing if he looked around and go, all right, at least I'm not the only one. A bunch of people are laughing. No, you're the only one laughing, bro.
Well, she acts.
And Matt Binder starts laughing, but it takes a while.
She got up today and she said, Twitter, cook me.
Oh my God, it's so funny. She's being loud. Ha ha ha, cook her. Ha 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 ha. I don't get it. What's the funny thing? Look at Matt Binder's face. Oh, what? What's funny about her? She just said cook her like 4 times before that, but not loud. And then now she says it loud and it's funny now. Hilarious. Like what? Because she clapped and was loud as she said it. I don't understand this comedy. But see, these guys aren't at least busting out laughing. They were trying to hold it in. Now they're smiling. They give a little giggle. But then look at him laughing. I don't get it. You know, that's your friend that she's talking about, right? Like, it's not like a stranger she's talking about. This is a friend, somebody that's had you on their show and boosted your career. This is how you act? Like, what? And he doesn't address that at all. Every time he talks about this, he's talking about, oh, but we don't disagree. I don't understand why these guys think we went hard and this and that. What? So crazy.
It's a joke. She's being funny.
Oh, is that what it is? A joke? She's being funny, is it? Oh, she's had a lot of bad takes, but it's a joke, right?
Again, I don't know how you take this and like
coddle the white lady out. She wasn't serious about that, right? That was a joke. She wasn't serious in saying you guys are just people are being nice to Anna because she's a white. even though she went on a rant for a while about how nobody comes to her defense,
Yeah.
which is probably bullshit. She probably has tons of people who come to her defense.
This means war.
This lady, she put up a, she put up a tweet about some guy in prison that died. And she said he died in prison all because he stole a beer. And I was like, this seems like bullshit. So I look up the dude in Rikers, and it ends up, one, he did initially go to jail for stealing a beer, but that was a small offense, and they let him out on parole. He didn't even go to prison. They let him out on parole, on probation. It was just like, all right, well, you just got probation. He fucks up the probation and ends up in jail, right? So he's in jail for fucking up probation, not for the beer thing. They
Right.
gave him the chance to not be in jail over that. He fucked that up, right? So then he goes to jail, and then they say he dies in jail. You're thinking it's something like, oh man, the system's fucked up. He dies from drugs in jail. He
Oh my
overdosed. He was getting drugs in jail, and he overdosed in jail. Had nothing to do with the prison system itself. Like the guards didn't beat him to death or nothing. And she's all like, we need change and this and that. I was like, everything that happened that in this guy's life that put him in jail and died and all that stuff was all his own choices. It had nothing to do with the prison system. Like, and then she blocked me after that because I put out a tweet saying, no, this guy wasn't beer because he broke parole. He died from a drug overdose. And she blocked me right after that.
Yeah. Oh, well, you know what? LA chose violence. LA chose violence.
Oh, I love LA.
The Daily Mail, for the first time. Hi, Tim Pool. Left-wing Young Turks commentator infuriates woke mob.
Oh, this might be funny too, but Lance is going to go on Tim Pool soon. So he's actually going to go fly there. The funny thing about that is when Vosh went on there, Lance went on this crusade against Vosh, saying that Vosh is platforming Tim Pool, and he was mad about it. And it took a while for him and Vosh like piece it up and him to recognize, oh, okay, fine. And then now he's actually he's changed completely on that, because his whole audience was like, no, Vosh is not wrong. So now he's completely changed his entire morals on that. And now he's going to go on Tim Pool.
By blasting
2 years
trans-friendly
later.
terms such
So
as
funny.
birthing person and person who menstruates. The thing that fucks with me in this whole story is that, again, I want to be very clear about this. No one is saying that cis women no longer should be referred
right,
to.
but now he's reacting to this newspaper.
Yeah.
Regardless, this is what I'm saying is, at this point, the Young Turks are no longer complaining that they disagree. At this point, the complaint is that all these people turn their backs on him, right? So we still have Lance gaslighting, basically. He's trying to be like, but there's no disagreement. Yeah, that's fine, Lance. Jenk don't care about the disagreement. I'm going to skip through some of this because it's just him reading the newspaper where he's mentioned. But he does go through some of the tweets, so when he goes to that, we'll go. But
eliminate the struggle or take up the space
but yeah, look how long he's talking about this for no reason, because it's completely irrelevant, because the disagreement is no longer relevant here, right? That's not what the issue is anymore. The issue is now that Cenk and Anna are saying you guys backstabbed them and they'll never have you, they'll never work with you again, basically.
Kasparian tweeted that she finds certain trans-inclusive ways of addressing women, such as person with a uterus or birthing person, as degrading. But Kasparian,
she views it as degrading for herself. She's like, I don't understand how you guys don't see that as degrading. There's no problem there. That shouldn't even be controversial in any way.
And found herself heavily criticized by the woke online mob official in the fucking papers. Olayemi, you're here. Hey, we're official. We're in the news.
Why is being on the news official? You have streams and shit. Streams are on media forever. Why is a newspaper making it? This is like a website. You're talking about news like it's on print in a newspaper. No, it's in a website. Like the same thing you're doing by streaming. Like
it's like
it's so stupid.
Public record now.
It already was, Lance.
It's not my words. This is the Daily Mail, the trash rag from fucking the UK. Pitting her as being transphobic and trans exclusionary for her mere opinions. Earlier this week.
Right, for her mere opinions on herself, talking about herself, right?
The social commentator wrote, I'm a woman. Please don't ever refer to me as a person with a uterus, birthing person, or person who menstruates. This is what the right is trying to do. This is what biological essentialists are trying to do.
Now, this is an argument they make that I call, it's kind of like a sneaky ad hom, right? Where they say, this is a right-wing take. So suddenly what saying to you now, whatever argument you have, saying to you, that's a right-wing take is supposed to be an argument back, but it's not. You know what I'm saying? Just because a take is a right-wing take doesn't mean it's wrong. Just like a take that's a left-wing take doesn't mean it's wrong. You actually have to say why it's wrong, right? You can't just say it's a right-wing take. That's it. This is the same thing when the 1350 stuff was happening. And anytime anybody brought it up, Lance and Vosh would just go, "Oh, that's a white supremacist talking point." It's like, yeah, Lance, Vosh, just because white supremacists use that talking point doesn't mean that it's wrong. Just saying that doesn't prove that it's wrong. You need to actually show what makes it wrong if you want to refute the claim, right? You know what I'm saying? In fact, you'd think if you're an advocate of the opposite side that you would want to do that. So therefore you can show that even those people are wrong, right? Like the white supremacists won't be able to use that at all either, because now you've shown it's wrong. Remember, they used to always do the wage gap for feminists and stuff. What did people do? They flooded the internet with a debunk of it to show it's not showing what the feminists are saying is showing, and now nobody rarely brings it up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you rarely hear about it anymore because it's everybody already knows. Oh no, it's that, you know, that it's just numbers. They're not measuring the conclusion or why there's a difference between the wages, right? And that this is what he's doing by saying it's a right-wing argument. He gets to brush it away or rebut it without actually rebutting it, right? Because his audience will just be like, "Oh, it's right wing, Anna's a right winger," you know, saying obviously Anna's not a right winger, you know. But it's like a hidden ad hom, right? He's insulting her take and saying brush it away because of this insult.
We are more than our sexual organs. We are more. I am more than a penis. I don't know how many times I am more than a penis.
But that's the point. That you're more than just your reproductive
that is the thing, but understand also that that's a straw man. That's not her argument here. She's not saying that. She said, "I'm a woman. Please don't refer to me as a person with a uterus, a birthing person, or a person who menstruates. How do people not realize how this is degrading?" Right? She's not saying that she's more than those things even, but she's saying, like, just, I don't want to be called by those things. Don't label me by those things. This is my personal opinion. I feel it's degrading to label me by these opinions. Why if the transgender community gets to be out there and say, "Hey, don't call me this, I want to be called this," then how come when she does it people get mad, right? Why can't Anna do that then? Why can't she say, "Hey, I don't like that label, I want to be labeled this," right? There's no problem there. He seems like a penis. Yeah, he does actually.
I am a man. God damn, I'm more than a pair of fucking testicles.
But see, this is all straw man. Anna never made this argument, so he's doing this for show, and it doesn't do anything.
No, that does not define what a man is. That's ridiculous. No, I'm sorry. This is not the world I want to live in, because it's just not fucking reality. These
what up, Billy?
Social constructs that change over time based on different characteristics. They're archetypes. That's what this is. This is us trying to, in our best way, use the English language to express things that, again, are what we are socially convening to agree upon.
Right. Exactly, Lance. So then what's the problem here? Anna's telling you this is what I want to be called. Right? Where's the issue? How does that conflict with what you just said right now? Like, in no way.
Is something. The social archetypes, right? But this is what the right does. The right and the trans.
This is what the right does already. He's conflating her with the right.
Medicalists, the biological essentialists, all of them are the ones who are always fucking fixated on that. This there, right? That thing down there, you know, being like, "Oh, well, yes, I mean, they had a prostate, so they are clearly a man." And you're like, "This is so weird, dog. Why are you talking about prostates of strangers? Why
not?
No, don't do this. Don't do that."
Wait, but why not? Why can't Anna put her opinion about anything she wants on her Twitter? Like, what is the problem with that? No, it's weird. So what if it is weird? So, you know what I'm saying? And it can't be weird on her Twitter. Why not? What's the problem there? Does that mean you should backstab her because she's weird on Twitter, like, and posting random weird opinions? What? Who cares, Lance? You ever think to ask her why she posted that? Was there anything to relevance? Was there a news article she was reading? What? You know, you could have found that out since you were friends with her, but instead you decided to take this route to burn everything, right? And then gaslight them saying they're the ones burning the bridge. Right?
Do this to yourself. It's going to be deeply, deeply embarrassing. All right, so a couple people sound off, but then one of the based ass people on the internet.
One of the based ass.
Mike of the Humanist Report. Go check out the Humanist Report, everybody, right now.
Yeah, what Goodman Brown said, I agree with you on that. I think that's part of it. They felt like it was okay to do or something, or they justify it in their minds because they feel like they're punching up, like they're below them. And also it's a progressive stack kind of thing, right? It was a black lady who was criticizing Anna and saying it's coddle the white lady hour, so none of them can step on her toes because she's at the bottom of the stack, right? And they're above her on the stack, and she's punching up, so they can't stop her from doing that, right? Which is completely ridiculous.
I respect you a lot. Again, so nice. This newspaper article is an example of us being super nice, and I will continue to be super nice to people.
Right, they were being nice in that tweet for sure. There's another one after this where he calls him bad faith, where he calls Cenk bad faith while being bad faith himself. Right? He says, there's a clip of Cenk saying the polls agree with them, that people on the right and people on the left, the majority of both, don't want to be called birthing person and these other labels, right? The majority of people agree. So Cenk is saying the majority of people in these polls are saying, even on the left, saying they agree with us. And Mike Figueredo responds with, 99% of the left agrees with us. This is bad faith and blah, blah. And, you think like, do you even think that's possible? That 99% of either the left or right agree on one thing? That's not true. And I'm like, Mike, citation needed. You're saying he's bad faith while spouting out a bad faith number with no proof of that number. Cenk is talking about polls, and I'm sure if you ask him, he'll present those polls to you, and you can check the methodology and what they asked. But to just throw out a number and say 99% of the left agrees with us, what? Where did you get that number from? Where does that? Is that from a poll or? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then he's calling Cenk bad faith. No, you're bad faith. You're the one being bad faith here.
Who I think have had a long history in progressive and leftist politics and do good things. Again, these can be separate things. You can both agree that fucking TYT has pulled off some fucking incredible shit. Them and the Justice Democrats, all that shit. Yes, I am humbled by that fucking amazing work that they've done in that arena.
No, you weren't humbled enough to not backstab them when the time came after they had you on their show, right?
At the same time, you can be corrected for your takes.
Yes, you could correct them for their takes, Lance. That's not what the issue is. The issue is how you correct them for their takes, right? You could have easily had a private conversation with them, right? You could have easily had all you guys have a private call with them. There was no reason for this live stream to happen.
This only serves to benefit the right, the far right, and the anti-trans fucking bigots and ghouls.
You hear this? This only serves to benefit the right. What does that mean? Like, so Anna can't have her opinion if it somehow benefits the right or something? How does that work? That doesn't make any sense. What if Anna agrees with something else with the right, so she has to keep that hidden and stuff? Like, I don't understand.
They're the only ones that benefit from this very specific form of leftist infighting.
Right, so why would you guys create this infighting? So he's like, so that's what it is. Okay, so he's saying the only people who are going to benefit from this from this leftist infighting is going to be the right. So then why are you guys going after the Young Turks? Why didn't you guys privately talk to them about this, right? Instead, you guys attack them on a live stream. It makes no sense.
Notion that mere existence of trans-inclusive terms, rarely used in casual conversations, if ever. I'm sorry, I've never heard outside of this discourse people demanding people be called birthing person. Not once. I've never been in a fucking hospital where.
Okay, so then what's wrong with the take of Anna saying she doesn't want to be called one, right? Where's the problem here?
I don't even think it was a hospital that was saying it. The last time that Anna brought that up, it was somebody in the Senate referring to other people that were non-binary or trans men that could possibly be getting pregnant as well, that we should be referring to them as birthing person. Right. And they did a whole segment and it was like, no, we shouldn't want that. Or at least she doesn't want that. So yeah, people are talking about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like they didn't. This is what I'm talking about, not giving the charitability to hear what they have to say, because they could have easily just asked, like, Anna, where did this come from? What were you doing? You know what I'm saying? And she could have literally said, like, oh yeah, we just did a segment on it, you guys didn't see it, or wherever it came from.
Seen a doctor speak to a woman, and it's like, so you are a birthing person. You are a person who can't give birth. Yes, you have a viable womb. You're a viable womb, however you are. Like, I agree. If someone was referring to human beings as just their genitals and organs, that's insulting.
Right. So then there was no reason to go on the stream.
Yeah.
So there's no reason to go on the stream and completely diss them and not defend them when they were
sucks. That's
why didn't you say this? You know, what's funny is exactly what he's saying here. He could have said to that black lady in the stream after she said that and said, no, but they're right. The black thing, you know, there is no disagreement, Lance is saying. So if there's no disagreement, why didn't you tell that black lady when she was saying we need to cook Anna? You should have said, no, but we don't need to cook Anna because we agree with Anna, right?
Because he's a weasel and a follower.
Exactly. Because he's a weasel. Fucked, right? And that's the whole point. That's the whole point of the stream, is that he's a dirty weasel.
But that's what biological scientists are doing. I contest this. I say we are more than our penises or our vaginas. We are more than our prostates, okay? There's more to us, more than our wombs even. I'm also a woman and proud of it. Fight for it every day. But not everyone who deals with reproductive issues is a woman. Speaking with inclusion does not erase your womanhood, and you can't actually support the trans and GNC communities.
Right, but that, you know, Anna doesn't want to have kids either. So that seems like more reason why she wouldn't want to be called a woman with her uterus, right? And she's in the older section of that. She's closer to my age, so she's probably going to be going through menopause soon. Like, she's not even, her uterus is not going to matter anymore soon, right? So it's like, if she doesn't want to be referred to that anymore because of her age or herself, her personally, where is that an issue? You know, this is what happens because of
another person on Twitter said, speaking with
this is the cancel culture. They're all right on the edge of a cliff with their wings expanded, waiting to jump off and fucking go circle the next body.
Inclusion does not erase your womanhood. In response to the Casparian tweet, this is me. I'm another person. Look at me now, Mom. Never thought I'd make something of myself. I'm in the Daily fucking Mail as another person. Yes, I'm one Twitter user. Oh,
God.
Yeah, clap.
I don't get this
clap.
guy. Yeah. Woo, I don't get it. I don't get this person. He's so cringe.
Blamed the right for creating the division between transgender and cis women, saying that they are the ones who want to, quote, label people based on genitals. They are. I agree. So, this one Twitter user, you know who I am.
But if they're the ones who want to label people by their genitals, and you're on the left, which, you know, is not true, but you're on the left, and you're making that argument, then doesn't that put Anna on the same place as you by not wanting to be labeled by her genitals or organs? So then nothing she said is wrong, and there's no reason for you guys to have done that stream and not defend her. I don't understand.
I know you know who
right? Like, this is what I'm saying. All of this stuff is just kind of telling us that Lance did this maliciously, right? Like, every excuse he's giving doesn't make sense. Every argument, like right now, he just made an argument saying it's the right that want to label you by your genitals, right? And Anna doesn't want to be called a birthing person or person with a uterus, so
what was
that issue? Makes her on the left, right? Yeah. Like, what? So you see, like, none of this is making sense, and he keeps trying to gaslight it as we agree. But if you guys agreed, then why did you do this stream, right? That's the real question here, and that's the question he dodges the whole time, right?
Oh yeah, fucking hell! I'm on your radar. Let's do this. So I said, it's the right.
Actually, TYT and Vosh are not gonna have an alliance. Vosh has called already. There was a thing where, like, our segment they did where they were asked if she would talk to Vosh, and she said that he called her the R word recently, and so she would never talk to him or something. So I don't think there's ever gonna be a TYT Vosh alliance. Maybe Destiny, though, if they start becoming more moderate, there might be a TYT Destiny thing. Maybe Destiny will start seeing them as more less of a joke.
Who wants to label people based on the genitals or organs? You're only a biological woman if you have birthing organs or menstruate. Trans activists are always the first to say there's a difference between trans and cis women because it's what makes them trans. And I fucking stand by that. I'll put it on a fucking t-shirt.
Yeah, but nobody cares, Lance. That's not what the argument is. So nobody gives a shit. This is all just virtue signal. And I stand by this tweet I said that's a total virtue signal and it has nothing to do with the arguments that we're having.
For the cis people in the back. Hey, my fellow sissies. They are the
There's no cis people in the back. Cis people are in the front. What are you talking
first
about?
ones to say this all the time.
Why would cis people be in the back? That doesn't make sense.
In every space, not a single trans activist or trans person is demanding that cis women be labeled as trans women, because that would erase who they are. They are trans. The same thing applies to all trans people. The math.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why you would call Anna a woman and not a birthing person for the same exact reason.
Does not add up. By virtue of that, they will tell you cis women are not trans women. That's not a controversial or offensive statement to say. It's a matter of fact. Cis women are not trans women. But trans women are women. Do you get the difference here? Like, black women.
But even by their argument, this is kind of a straw man, because the trans argument is that there's a different gender and sex are different. In this case, Anna's talking about sex. She don't want to be labeled by the sex of. She don't want her sex to be labeled as a person with a uterus. Her sex is called woman. So she's saying, "Call me woman," by sex. She's not talking about gender, right? And now he's here talking about trans women are women, but the cis women aren't trans, right? Cis, when you say cis women, you're talking about gender now. When you say trans woman, you're talking about gender now, right? And then you say trans women are women, that women aspect, after saying what trans women are, you're talking about gender, while Anna's talking about sex. So you've already moved the goalpost, and now this argument is dead in the water, right? It's not what Anna's talking about at all. Anna's talking about sex. She's talking about when I go to the doctor or I'm being referred to by the law, I'm talking about biology. I'm talking about I am biologically a woman. I don't want to be labeled as biologically a person with a uterus or a birthing person, right? That's literally what she's saying. As when it comes to sex, I want to be labeled a woman. So that she's not mentioning anything about gender, and in their side of the argument, gender should not even come up, right? It's a straw man to even bring it up.
Are women, indigenous women are women. You don't get to separate that, because there's a difference between white women and indigenous women.
Yeah, that doesn't work, because what white women and indigenous, so that doesn't work. Those are different categories, lads. The women on both of those are still the same category. They're both the female version of that race or species or animal, whatever you want to say. It's the same thing, right? Like you're not separating that category by saying indigenous women, because indigenous women and white women doesn't mean that they're not both women. Yeah, obviously they're both women. It means the female of that group. Like dumbass. The female of mice, the female of whatever. It's always the female of whatever group you're talking about. So that categorization doesn't even work, Lance.
There is. But indigenous women will not tell you that they are white women and vice versa. Like did you understand what's happening here? But they're all women. They're all women. They're all valid. They're all beautiful.
Yeah, but this is still the straw man. By Lance's argument, he's talking about gender. And then notice again, with the races, he would be talking about sex. So he's going back and forth and basically straw manning the argument. It's obvious that Anna's talking about biology. She's not talking about gender.
The world is a many splendorous thing, a wondrous thing even. Sorry.
But this is where I tell you that he's gaslighting it as they have a disagreement. And Jake and Anna are saying the disagreement's past. They don't give a shit about the disagreement anymore. The time where they could have figured out their disagreement and try to learn from each other is past. You know, these guys already went out and backstabbed them, and they don't see a reason. That's why they're like saying, I never want to bring on these leftist people again. And basically the Young Turks right now are basically saying they're never going to have guests on anymore. They're just, that consistent guests that come on anymore. It's just going to be the crew, the cast, and that's it, right? They're not going to bring Lance on anymore or Mike Figueredo. These people are never going to come on the Young Turks again. And they're not going to bring new people on again, because they're like, every time we do, people backstab us, like every single time.
Okay, we'll finish this clip.
Delete the tweet. I want to make it clear.
And I'm telling you, that's the nature of the beast. These are all cancel culture kind of people. So the second they can find one thing to turn their backs on you and try to cancel you or whatever, or take your, for honestly, maybe, I don't know if they connive this or they're thinking this themselves, but honestly, they would all benefit from the Young Turks going down, because the Young Turks' whole audience would intersperse into these people, because these are the people, who share audience with them. So for them to take a top spot away from the Young Turks, that would be something huge for them. So, there is a motive there, but I'm not saying that they were actually doing it.
Yeah, delete the fucking tweet.
Wait, she hasn't deleted it?
You know why? Because at the She took 106,000 likes. She didn't even get ratioed. She didn't even get ratioed. She'll be all right.
Pause it for a second. This is all these people care about, the ratio aspect. They don't
Yeah, I
care
don't get
about
that.
like the actual truth of what was said, or even if they have a disagreement. They just care about the ratio.
Yeah, ratio means
They
nothing.
really think you can take that to the bank and walk away with a bag with like.
Oh, you have a bigger audience than me, so
Yeah.
you can get more likes on something
Yeah.
than me. That doesn't make you right. So who cares? It's a popularity contest is what ratios are, right? It's just like, oh, look, I won the popularity contest, though. Maybe you're right, but I won the popularity contest.
Like, oh my God!
I saw that Majority Report video that went up. It's exactly what Emma.
First off, Kenny was such a great guest. We got to get her back on the show.
Kenny was such a great guest. This whole time she was just quiet.
Said on the show earlier today, and when I heard Emma say it, I was like, Emma put it great, and then I saw them put it up with the title that says Anna Kasparian is not anti-trans. I'm like, that's not the point. Why are you putting?
No, but that's their friends, so they're defending their friends. So regardless of what the point is, why would it be bad to label their video with a charitable interpretation of it, right? Like, why would they want to go hard and go, that's not the point? Well, I mean, for you, maybe that's not the point. For them, it was, right? For me, the label would have been like, Anna makes totally non-controversial, normal human being post. You know what I'm saying? That 99% of human beings would agree with. Totally non-controversial.
By the way, I can't tell you how much
These are good laugh. Let's hear that again.
With the title that says Anna Kasparian is not anti-trans, I'm like, that's not the point. Why are you putting?
By the way, I can't tell you how much and this is going to be a bit of a circle.
Is it weird how hardy he laughs and then stops to go into a start? It's almost like it's an act, right? Like
laugh.
he does. It's like a exaggerated laugh.
How much I love the leftist rock.
But I don't know. He's kind of spazzy with this talking. He's always like, between talking. It's very strange.
Just not missing
There
words.
And
on the point.
And
why did Matt Binder, who I know has had
there he goes. Chooping.
more interactions with Anna Kasparian. Why didn't Matt Binder or me? I have been on.
Yeah, why didn't you guys defend her? I don't know. It seems like you guys have a grudge against
the
her.
show
Or something.
and co-hosted TYT with Anna Kasparian. I'm not a TYT employee, by the way. I've never been paid by TYT.
Right, but you've co-hosted with them. They've been generous to you to have you on.
It's been said a few times. It's that TYT is the one that got the Serfs Lance's Twitter verified.
Oh, is
they
it?
Did that.
Oh, yeah, that would make sense. But in the end, they've done a lot for him, and they've helped them out a lot.
Yeah.
There was really no reason for him to backstab them. Like, it's very strange.
They don't cut me checks or anything like that.
But it's not strange. He's a weasel. We know he's a weasel. He's backstabbed other people before too. He went hard at Destiny when Destiny was like a person that really made his career too. And the first step of his career, right, was launching off of like Destiny and Bosch. And he turned his back on Destiny at some point too. I mean, everybody has the beef with Destiny where he watches one of their streams and disagrees with them and they get mad. But, and that's like this, but it's how you handle those disagreements, right? But there was one where Lance just went on his stream and went hard on him for doxing this dude that was public. And all his information was public. There was no doxing. And the more and more Destiny showed him that it was public, and he's like, no, I didn't dox him. Look at this. No, I didn't dox him. Look at that. This is, look at the website, has his full name in the address bar of the website, of his website. How can I be doxing him if that's his literal website,
Exactly.
And he just kept going and kept trying to catch him on something. He's like, I feel like you're trying to like weasel away to make me look bad in this when there's nothing for me to look bad, And I've shown you that, and you just keep trying to make me look bad, Just a total weasel trying to gain from an attack, right? Like attacking them to try to gain from it. That's what it looks like.
It's very gracious when they ask me to go on their network because it's much larger than mine, and it helps promote me and my messaging. Yeah, I don't like, people sometimes get mad at me in both directions.
Yeah, Mike from PA. I think his website was like his full name in the address bar.com because he was running for like mayor or something in one of the towns there. And it's like he's running as a politician. He says that on stream all the time. His name is Mike from PA, what fucking state he's from. It's like he's not doxing him. His information is totally public. What are you talking about?
A lot is being left to the imagination.
But he just wanted something to go at Destiny and be like, I got you.
Why would you go on TYT? Don't you know about all this fucked up shit that's going on? Don't you know that like they hate
this fucked up shit? What's fucked up shit is going on at TYT except for them being like maniacs and strawberry people?
On them?
Yeah,
he doesn't. They don't disagree about defund the police when they were all about defund the police. Now TYT has shifted on that. They don't disagree on the trans stuff. now they're trying to make a mountain out of a molehill from that as well. But what other things do they talk about that there's a massive disagreement there? Most of it is everybody agrees. That's why when Lance goes on, he has nothing to contribute because he has to wait for someone else to say it first, and then he'll share his take.
Right. And this seems like I was saying from the beginning how these are all between the bottom three. This is something of like a built-up grudge. They've kept things from the past hidden in the back of their mind waiting to pull it out, right? And now he's talking about, this is a new thing, right? Lance is talking about, oh, how could people were telling him then? Oh, how can you go on TYT? They're fucked up. They do this. So that means people on his own side were telling him not to go on TYT because they have these right-wing talking points, you know what I'm saying? But he was still going on. So that means that's in the back of his mind, right? Like, that he doesn't agree with them on
prison abolitionists. Aren't you a prison abolitionist? Yes,
I am. Prison abolitionist. How stupid could that be?
A prison abolitionist?
Incredibly dumb.
If I went on TYT and they were like, let's do a piece on prison abolition and why it's actually about letting rapists rule the world, I would on that fucking panel push back on that take in the strongest ways.
That is such a lie because watching you do the supercuts that you make of TYT, there are times when we're waiting for Lance to come on and give his dork take, and he does not add anything of like.
No, he doesn't add much at all.
Opinion that you
there is one where Cenk kind of did. He tried to like push back on Cenk about something. I think it was about like some certain right winger doing something on purpose or something, and Cenk was like, "No, that's dumb. Like there was no like evidence that somebody did it on purpose." Or something. It was like, "No." And Lance gave him like an attitude or something. Like he came back and goes, "Oh, whatever," you know, like I don't remember exactly what he said, but it was kind of like an "oh, whatever" moment, right? And he was just like kind of didn't take it well, but you could tell Cenk didn't hear it because he was talking in the middle of it doing. And I put it in a cut where I put it in there, but I forgot exactly what he said.
I think I remember the one.
But it was like an attitude he was giving up and shit because he didn't like that he disagreed with them. Maybe I don't know.
If they bring me on to be like, hey, Lance, can you talk about why Kissinger committed war crimes? Yes, I'm going to talk about why Kissinger committed war crimes. That's not. I'm not in opposition to that stance. So yes, I will go on the show and back that position up. I will be like, yes, absolutely, Kissinger sucks because it's also furthering my own. That's different. Go on there to fucking.
It's also furthering my. I don't even know if he's finished that sentence completely.
Yes, absolutely, Kissinger sucks because it's also furthering my own.
Furthering my Musa? What did he say? Furthering my Musa.
And back that position up. I will be like, yes, absolutely. Kissinger sucks because it's also furthering my Musa.
Furthering my Musa. This guy is such a weirdo. He can't even finish his sentences. I don't know what he says there. Furthering my Musa?
Also furthering my mama.
That's different
than I'm going to go on there to fucking lie or betray my beliefs. Again, if they were doing a segment on prison abolition and I was there,
all right.
I would be like, well, actually, no, I just.
That's the point.
Blah, 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 blah. You know?
That is the title of the video. That's the point.
That's not the point. What is the point then, Matt? What are you talking about? Why isn't it the point that the majority party who are friends with the Young Turks would put out a charitable take, which is mostly true, to say Anna is anti-trans or TYT in general after all of the backing up of trans that they've done and pro-trans stuff. Even the day yesterday, weeks after this, the day after this whole Twitter fight, even they're still doing pro-trans content. So there is totally nothing wrong with the title they put on, right? And this Matt Binder's like, why is saying what's not the point? Why isn't it the point? Why?
This is where the concern.
It was an anti-trans take.
It was an anti-trans take. No, it wasn't. How is it anti-trans to say you don't want to be called? What? What are you talking about, Lance? How was that? You see that? So he did listen to this. So he did kind of weasel a little defense for Anna there, but still kind of said something about her take that was totally wrong, right? But
take because blah 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 blah.
Watch.
You know?
That is the title of the video. This is the point.
This is where.
So he said she's not anti-trans. It's an anti-trans take, he's saying, but he says it really low under all these people talking instead of trying to really get it out there and have it be part of the conversation.
Because he's a weasel.
Because he's a little
and a follower.
Yeah, he's a little weak weasel. And he said in the back, it's just not trans, like.
Concern
It was an
her
anti-trans
rather than
take.
the substance of the view. At some point, she is legitimized.
But it's not an anti-trans take either, and it's ridiculous to call it that. Saying you want to be called something and not another thing can never be an anti-trans take.
Yeah.
That's a dumb thing to say.
See what I'm saying? The conversation is just
There's no
shifted to
connection there.
the
In fact, Anna didn't even bring up trans people, so that's a total gaslight that they're doing to
Yeah.
say that she's. How can she be saying something anti-trans when she's not even talking about trans people? She's talking about
Yeah.
herself.
like everybody's conversation is about defending whether or not Anna is a turf and her career and blah blah blah, rather than talking about the substance of what she put out and why that is offensive to legitimize and why it's a problem for
But it's not offensive. So you could talk about why, but you're not gonna say much because there's no reason to say it's offensive.
Hell,
Like
respect.
what's offensive about saying you want to be called a woman and not a birthing person? Like
I love
what's
when,
offensive about it? I don't understand.
Go for it.
I love when it's the point now here is to scold her for saying something offensive while they're going to say multiple things that are actually offensive and
Mhm.
rude and totally not like the point of what was said.
Yeah.
Thank
Like,
you.
like
That's the problem.
normalize large creators being called out and being like, oh shit, I was
Right. That's fine, Lance. And it would be fine if you guys were calling out a large creator that you didn't know. The issue here is you're calling out a large creator who is your friend and not giving them the charity to find out if
What
you
the
are
problem
correct
is.
in what you're doing by streaming and criticizing what they're saying.
Right.
There is a, is there not a possibility that you could have been wrong on how you interpreted what she said? A friend would give another friend the charity of saying, maybe I misread, maybe I misunderstood. I should go to them and ask, hey, what did you mean by this, man? Can we have a conversation about this? It seems like you're saying something, but through charity, I don't think you could say that, like what could it mean? Maybe I'm wrong, right? But these people didn't care about that and they decided to go instantly on a stream and bash her, right?
Yeah.
And assume what she meant.
It made it in. That's the end of the clip. Yeah, I stand by that. Whatever.
That doesn't make anything better. That doesn't make anything better, Lance.
I don't know where the clip came from. I don't know if this was like in the Discord or emailed or in a Reddit thread or something like that. But like at the very end of that clip, you should like that's the point where you should be like,
That's the
yeah,
point we're gonna focus on, not you cackling and
yeah. This is what I'm saying. Yeah,
all this shit.
just
like,
focus at the end of the clip and forget the beginning
Come
part
on.
where I was laughing and not stopping this woman from saying racist things about you and calling your other friends racist.
people love moving where they started responding
Yeah,
to something.
exactly.
Like that's where he responded.
Mhm.
That was his first and only time.
Yeah.
It wasn't him saying anything else and just laughing his head off.
And everything before that,
Right.
don't worry about that. Don't look behind the curtain.
Thank you. That's the problem.
When was this recorded? Weeks ago. 2 weeks, I think. Yeah, I
Yes.
think this was 2 weeks. 2 weeks old. What?
Right, and you guys bring up stuff that's months old in this conversation. The Olay chick brings up the other things they've disagreed on Anna with, like
Yeah.
the police stuff, which is old, right? You brought up things that people say about working at TYT, which is old. It's okay to bring up things that are old.
Yeah.
Right? There's
Why is
no
this
problem.
surfacing now?
It's surfacing now because this girl put out a video calling out haters. So Anna's called her out as a hypocrite because this video shows how she's a hater, right?
Yeah.
That's why. Why is it coming out now? Because Olay made a video about haters, right? And she's a hypocrite because here she is being a hater. And you didn't defend your friend, right?
It's
She was
like,
being a
No,
hater.
oh,
I just have to ask one thing. Why is it too late to bring up something from a week or two ago, but we can bring up something from 400 years ago?
Yeah.
Every fucking time to make a point.
Yeah, that's true.
400 years, but 2 weeks is too late.
But
How
it
does that
came
make
out of
sense?
the blue.
Guys, normalize large creators being called out and being like, oh shit, I was wrong. Like, 2 weeks.
Yeah, but that's also assuming that they were wrong. So you notice how this is why TYT saw this video and they said, no, Lance, you're not right. We're right. And the polls agree with us, right? So Lance is coming at us from a perspective of I'm 100% right and Anna's wrong. Now, mind you, Anna's probably like twice his age, if not like 10 something years older. She has way more experience, been in the game longer. She's done politics and news way longer than this dude.
Went to
This dude's
school
just
for
a
this,
joke,
probably.
right?
Yeah.
So it's like, imagine he's here thinking automatically he's the one that's 100% right, and there's no bend in that. And Anna's the one who needs to completely change her view and apologize and say she's wrong and change her mind. Why isn't it you that needs to change your mind, right? That there's already a thing here that's showing you that he's like a narcissist that won't bend on this, right? He has no, if he debates or argues with somebody, there's no open-mindedness to say, I might be wrong. Let me come in this in good faith, which automatically shows he's going to come in bad faith every time. Because every time he's coming in the concept that I'm 100% right. There's no way this person's going to move me or bend me. And we've seen that in his other debates a million times. And he never admits he's wrong. He never admits like, oh, okay, I'm wrong on this one. Let me construct another argument. That never happens. He uses the same arguments that fail over and over. Right?
Weeks ago, okay, yeah, that's the other part of this. It's just like, what the fuck? You're unavailable to view this account because they limit who can view their tweets. Who blocked me? This is not going to be great, is it? I don't know who this is. She said that you were talking like a white nationalist.
Somebody gonna get banned.
Your sincere opinion while not attacking anyone. What? No, she didn't.
Type that next letter and you gonna get banned.
Seen different things. So I guess that takes us to the response.
Another second.
It's bad faith. They know there's a difference between gender and sex. They know that it is very possible for someone to be born.
She kind of made the point there too that Lance is ignoring. So Lance is showing this as a video to show that they agree, right? This is what she used to say. Now, it's possible that she's changed her mind. That's fine. But even in this, there is also the straw man that Lance didn't go with now that she just said at the beginning of this. There's a difference between sex and gender, right? When he was arguing before, he was just talking gender, right? Mind you, the beginning of this already busts what Lance was saying.
Biological male or biological female, but in terms of gender, identify differently as a male or non-binary, but they still have the biological capacity, the physical capacity.
The biological capacity. Why does she talk like that? So weird. Sometimes she's so weird in the way.
A male or non-binary, but they still have the biological capacity, the physical capacity to get pregnant. So that's why the language, the rhetoric is inclusive to include those people. It is not a big deal, but they make it a big deal.
Right. Now, she kind of changed the view on this, but what we're seeing here is what she's saying in this point is that it's not that big of a deal. But she's not saying she wants to be called that, right? I mean, maybe you could take it at that, right? And she might still agree with this. But what she's saying now is that she doesn't want to be called that. Now, I feel like because of all this that's happening, now she's taking a harder stance on it. And so is Cenk. And they're like, fuck that. We've looked at the polls. The polls say people don't want this. Look, these guys are for the purpose of Democrats winning, right? That's what TYT is all about, right? So when they come at these people and they say, right, Mike Figueredo made a point of like, oh, I go by the truth and this and that the Young Turks they're propagandists. We've seen this for a long time. They want Democrats to win. They're looking at the polls. They're seeing the progressives. This is what I said from the last election. I think I still have a stream up from the elections where I said the Democrats are dropping the ball. We won with Biden, but that was way closer than it should have been. And I feel like Democrats are dropping the ball. And the more moderate Democrats are moving to the right, and we're going to end up being left with just this small amount of crazy far left people, and we're losing the moderates, right? And we need to stop doing that because we need to keep our moderates. That's the biggest number, is the people more centered, is the biggest number of both parties, right? The far people are the smaller number. Why are we catering to the smaller number, right? So I was saying, unless like people like the Young Turks and all these other people start pushing these people away and saying, no, we don't agree with you, and putting their foot down, Democrats are going to lose. They're going to keep losing, right? This looks weak. It looks bad. This is what's happening now. They're finally figuring out, all right, after 4 years after the fucking election, after I said this shit, they're finally figuring it out. I remember tweeting out stuff to Cenk, like drop the progressives or something, like get progressives out of Democrat party, start your own party. This is them finally becoming more Democrat and leaving behind the progressives. It seems like they're still going to be progressive, but I don't think they're going to be as far as these people anymore, right? Which is fine. And it's been getting a little more serious. Good. Good. She put her foot down against these people. Good. This is good.
I gotta say, Anna's right. I agree with Anna Kasparian. 100%.
Right. So then what's the issue, Lance? She said it's not a big deal. Guess what you guys did? Made it a big deal. Anna didn't make it a big deal. You guys made it a big deal. Let's see. Uh-oh. Oh, they're going to go on tonight. In
the strongest possible terms, let her cook.
Again, Anna didn't make this a big deal. They did. They went on a stream and went on a whole bash Anna thing, right? Or at least didn't defend her from somebody who was bashing Anna, who's their friend. This is a different thing. There's, again, the argument's not whether anybody could just, I mean, I can just go and make a video about Lance and bash him all I want. He's not my friend. I have no charitability towards him. I have no expectation of charitability towards him. But he has a expectation of charitability towards the Young Turks, right? And a friendship that he should be following with. Lance has single-handedly gotten the TYT troll channel to see Anna as base. That's yeah, that is impressive. I mean, they're not always wrong. TYT has been right from time to time. They're just being more right now. I think Anna's maturing and kind of growing up a bit. I think Anna's maturing, growing up a bit, and realizing, I think maybe Jenka's a little old and set in his ways, but she's the one realizing, hey, we're kind of seen as a joke now. Yeah. Like maybe we could tone it back some. She's been arguing with him when he strawmans or exaggerates too much, right? It's like maybe we could tone it back some and get seen a little more realistically, right? And have a bit more integrity at least, right?
Like it's not Jenk that goes out to do these interviews like with what's his name?
No, yeah, she's
Ben
been
Shapiro and stuff like
she's
that.
She's been talking to Ben Shapiro. She went on Daily Wire and talked to him. Right? So it's not going to be long till like Ben Shapiro probably goes on TYT and they have a discussion there now, right?
Because
they had Dennis Prager, so it's like they're getting more open to talking to the right. They're getting more open to not being so far left.
Republicans are. That's all they have. This is all they do. Endless bad faith.
Spitting facts, hard facts.
Faith arguments meant to fearmonger.
Right, but
they're the ones doing the bad faith thing, Lance,
right?
And that.
But the difference is when Anna said what she said, she wasn't fear mongering. She wasn't saying they're coming to take womanhood or something. No, she was just talking about herself and her opinion on it. Right? This is different from what she's talking about. This guy's doing which I don't really know much about this, so she's probably exaggerating here in the first place and doing what they're doing to her, to that guy, right? But that doesn't, again, two wrongs don't make a who cares. So in the end, Lance is still being a weasel here.
And direct hatred and fear toward other Americans, typically powerless Americans.
100%.
It's bad faith.
100%. Could not agree with Anna Kasparian more. And that's just the reality of the situation. You know, it's one of those things where like this is not looking to like it's a non-problem. Look, honestly, let's just completely.
Oh, I don't disagree at all. That's what I said from the beginning of this, right? This is a non-problem and non-issue. So it was very strange for these people to start up a panel
piling on Anna.
Yeah, and pile on Anna like that, and nobody defended her. I mean, people half-assed defended her maybe. If you watched Devin's video recently, I learned a new word called haphazardly. So they may have haphazardly helped her.
Be honest about this. It is. If there was a situation
incapable. Incapable.
Incapable
capacity.
The capacity.
There was a large push.
They had some sort of capacity to defend her, but they didn't. So they like haphazardly did.
On the left, or progressive circles, to suddenly demand that I cannot be known as a man, that I have to be known as a semen vessel. If that.
But you see, this is where this is what I mean about that straw man. It's like this isn't what she's mad about. She's not. TYT and Anna aren't upset that you guys disagree on something, right? And you're like, oh no, but they agree. That's not what the problem is here, right? This is a total straw man.
There's so much fucked up shit going on right now.
Right. So why did you guys do a stream bashing her then? You guys should have completely ignored it until you talked to her. Right?
Can we be real about that? There's so much fucked up
stuff. Now, like everything he's saying is really against him, right? Like,
especially towards trans people. Especially
right. So why would you amplify this in Anna's opinion and put that out there for what? Like and go after her after. And not say that it's fine for people to make opinions where they label themselves what they want to be labeled, right?
Queer people. Like
towards queer people, but there isn't actually. This is also a straw man or a false perspective these people try to put out to say that there's like an attack on queer people, on trans people. There is not. There's a disagreement with some of them, there's not an attack. There's no attack on any trans people. You know, there's that they'll constantly say that, oh, the state is going against them and attacking them. No, there's just disagreements with them. That's all there is.
Holy fuck, is life hard for queer folk right now?
No, it isn't. It's not hard. Actually, it's probably life is probably the best for queer people than it's ever been in history right now. And it continually gets better and better. That's not true.
Now, listen to them. Have you turned into like queer creators and then watched their videos, listened to their like fucking stories, looked at their
listen to their sorry
tweets? They're all saying the same thing. They're like, it is incredible.
No, they're not all saying the same thing, Lance. Citation needed.
Right.
They're not all saying this. This is like Mike Figueredo saying 99% of the left agree with us. Like, no, they don't.
You know what would be an interesting video to review one day is that one that we were watching where it was transition people, a group of transitioners and detransitioners,
right?
And they shared their experiences and stuff like that, and you could see that there was a lot of disagreements. So they agreed on like maybe like 60-40% or whatever like that, but there was disagreements.
There's no such thing as 99% of any group agreeing. There's no such thing as that. That's a complete bullshit. For him to say they all say the same story, no. They don't, Lance. They don't say the same story. I've known gay queer people. They don't say their life is a struggle. They don't, they say their life is better than it was 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying?
You know what
they're not having a struggle. It's not true.
The interesting thing out of that video that we watched is that those groups of transitioners and detransitioners, they all said the LGBTQ plus blah 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 group does not have our back. When we were transitioning and when we detransitioned, they don't have our back. So there must be more than just that group disagreeing out there as well.
Incredibly hard and scary to be queer right now, especially if you live in the United States. So much fucked up shit going on. So it's like
it's not hard to be queer, and especially not in the States. No. The States is probably the best place to be queer. Incorrect, Lance.
It's an important thing that leftists and especially cis people, we all get on board.
But this is the fear mongering they do. This is why people like Vosh go out and say there's a genocide of trans people happening, and then people get this is the problem with fear mongering. When you do that, people feel like the things they do, the violence they commit is justified because to them it's a defense, because they are under this understanding that it's an attack. So they're saying, well, if we're under attack, we need to defend ourselves. And so preemptive attacks become defense, right? Yeah. But in truth, they're just murdering scumbags, right? Like this is what happened with Gavin Long, who was a TYT viewer when they used to bash police all the time. And what happened when the Baton Rouge situation happened and there was riots going on where they killed Alton Sterling. Alton Sterling, was that his name? It was a close name. It's a close name. But then this guy decided, after years of watching TYT and making his own content about bashing police and that we need to defend ourselves against police, he went out and hunted police, right? He hunted them down and murdered them like a scumbag. And that's what people who watch fearmongers like TYT do, right? And that's exactly what people like Lance and Vosh, that's the same thing they're doing when they tell trans people that they're being genocided when they're not. First off, it's impossible to genocide something that's a group that's not an ethnic group, a religious group, or a nationality. You can't genocide trans people. Trans people aren't genetic. You know what I'm saying? Like the point of genocide, it's a sort of genetic or cultural thing, something that's passed on, right? Trans people themselves say that it's not passed on. So how can they be genocided? Impossible. First step, there'll still be more trans born. It's not like you kill trans and that means there's less trans being born, right? Exactly. There'll still be more born. It doesn't count. That's the wrong word. But either way, there's nobody out there killing trans people. That's not what's happening at all. And it's a total fear mongering tactic. And he's doing it here at a lighter degree, saying queer people are struggling when actually at the moment they're having the best time ever. Those same queer people would be struggling more 30 years ago. 60 years ago, even more. 90 years ago, even more. You know what I'm saying? Like each generation back, they'd be struggling even more. They're having it the best right now.
We're on this and all fucking do everything we can to protect trans people, protect trans kids in our messaging, in our activism, in our fucking legislation.
Yeah, but that's you, Lance. Basically, see, this is another thing that activists do and why they turn on each other, because it has to be their way.
Yeah.
You have to do activism my way. You're not allowed to have your own opinions, because your opinions may seem like activism and then you're doing it wrong, and we have to protect them. That, Lance, that's you. If you want to do that, that's fine. But why does the Young Turks have to do that? Why can't Anna express her opinion if she wants to about what she wants to be called? Like,
I think
why
that's
is that
the issue with these groups, where everyone wants to say their issue is the number one issue, and then it's just everybody like climbing on each other, trying to get their one issue at the top.
Exactly.
So
and I saw a lot of people mention this and to go, I can't believe she came out and said this now when all this trans stuff is going on in legislation and the trans people are on the attack. So there are certain periods of time where you're not allowed to state your opinion. Like if Latinos were, being put into concentration camps, and that means now you're not allowed to have any opinion on Latinos. You could, don't state that opinion on Latinos. You know how in danger they are. Like, that doesn't make sense. She's not even saying anything against trans people. She's just talking about herself. So she can't state an opinion on herself because another group is being oppressed or whatever it may be. If that was even true, I'm just saying, like, to Steelman his argument. It doesn't even work in that case, because it's like, wait, she can't have an opinion now because of that? Why not?
Right.
Like, that doesn't make sense.
Our voting records and our politicians, everything. Protect queer people. Just like we should protect all people. It's very
okay, but
so
protect queer people doesn't mean you're not allowed to have an opinion.
Right.
That's a different thing.
Now, that should be the focus and where everyone's energy is being poured into. Not like the left is policing my language, or the left is, oh man, fuck.
But she didn't say anything about the left policing her language. She said she doesn't want to be called
a semen vessel.
She just said she wants to be called a woman. It's not that hard.
Yeah, I didn't want to be known as a semen vessel. God damn it, fucking, like, if I tweeted out about that, like, I would expect all of you to respond in kind.
Right, all of you, your audience, not your friends, the randos that are in your audience. Your friends would come to you personally, right? This is like if I went outside with a boom mic, with a megaphone, and was chanting stuff. I would expect random strangers to come yell at me and bitch at me. I would expect my friend to come over and go, hey man, whisper in my ear, hey man, chill out, people are getting mad, right? Like that. You would handle those situations completely different. You don't treat strangers the same way you treat friends. It's okay to criticize and go at strangers on the internet. That's fine. People make a living off that. That's what the internet's all filled with that. But when your friends or someone helps you get a career, there's like Sean, like if something happened, Sean's helped me out with my channel. Devin's helped me out with my channel. Most of my audience is probably from one of those two guys. And you're going to, and then something, maybe Sean says something. The first thing I do is strike up a stream and we start shitting on him, or bring on somebody who's going to shit on him, and I'm not going to defend him. Right. And I would never do something like that. Because he's my friend. I'd go to him privately and DM him and go, hey man, what's up with what you're saying? This seems kind of odd. Let's have a conversation about it.
Kind. I would respect to see every fucking left tuber, bread tuber, corn tuber, whatever you want to call them, every single person all of a sudden being like, this is fucked.
But maybe he would expect that because maybe he's a weasel and he thinks everyone else is a weasel, and that's why you would expect that, because he doesn't see anything wrong with this, right? So he has no integrity. That's really. He's just kind of a douchebag.
People like Vosh, Lance, those other people on that panel, they think we need to hush and shut our mouth, and anything trans related, we just nod in agreement and say yes. Yeah, that's all that they think that we're supposed to say.
You're not allowed to have opinions, I guess.
Yeah.
This is absolutely fucked. This is, Lance, what are you doing?
You mentioned something where you said that Anna is almost like subconsciously or in denial of the fact that she's the female running back basically for Matt Walsh's What is a Woman? You know what I mean? Like, and what he says, like she's basically like supporting that message while not really wanting to be involved with Matt Walsh. Like their message, their whole political values clash.
You're right.
But on that, they agree.
But they agree on something. Yeah. I mean, a broken clock is right twice a day. It's both. These guys act as if they would never agree on anything with the right, but that's not true. There are things they could find agreement with. And if they didn't, that would show their stubbornness to just be total team sports and be like, no, no, because that's a right wing. But to them, that is legit. That's why they use terms like, oh, that's a right wing talking point instead of just refuting it. And it's like, okay, then it's a right wing talking point, but you haven't refuted the argument. Either way, which regardless of what kind of talking point it is, you're not refuting it by saying that. Let's see how much is left because we should probably almost done.
This is a made up fantasy. It's a problem of your own design. You've kind of invented.
No, it's not. But it's not true. It's you who's. This is you being a backstabber, and now you're gaslighting them to saying that they invented a problem. They didn't invent the problem. She stated an opinion. You guys made it a problem, right? By streaming about it and bashing on her and backstabbing her.
There's no one calling you a walking semen vessel. No one's doing that. No one's calling you.
No, but somebody's calling her coddle the white woman hour, right?
Like the semen machine, Semen Man 5000. It's not a thing, Oh, there's prostate boy. Yes, prostate boy. How's that prostate? Come
see how he digs into things for so long, thinking it's funny, and all of it's just a straw man. It's not even the argument.
No, there you go. Call me Commando. Yeah, like times are dark, and I say this in the lovingness of ways. Even now, even with all of this, even with the war being launched and me taking the left,
on top of that, and then he makes a point to say that like, oh, this hurts the left because we're all infighting and the right is benefiting from this. So Lance, why not just go, hey, Young Turks, I'm sorry. I apologize for laughing about you guys and not defending you. You're right. We may disagree on this, but I should have treated it better. That's all you have to do, Lance. You know what I'm saying? That's it. Just apologize for laughing at them and not pushing back and defending them. That's all.
This mafia side,
pick up. This is now. This is the expose right here. Let's go back a little bit.
With the war being launched and me taking the leftist mafia side.
That's the truth. He's taking his team's side because this is leftist mafia. Look, he exposed himself in the title of that he put on the video. Right at the bottom, it says Anna v. Leftist Mafia. So this is Anna versus my team, right? All those people in the panel, besides that Kenny chick, she's the only one that's not part of the leftist mafia. She was a guest. That's why she was quiet. But everybody else in that panel is part of the leftist mafia. This is it's like a gang. And it's funny they call themselves leftist mafia because they act like a gang, right? And they ganged up on TYT. Lance picked sides, and that's it. He's like, I can't disagree with my team. So
we're team Olimi in these parts.
Yeah,
with all this, I'm not canceling Anna.
No, but you guys acted like it. You guys jumped on a stream and did some cancel culture. Like, we need to talk shit about her,
I'm not here to cancel Anna. Yeah. This is not me doing a whole and that.
It's not. You can't. Nobody's saying you're trying to cancel, but it is cancel-like behavior, right? Like where you all it's almost like Inquisition, like the Spanish Inquisition. Like they're all coming together to judge Anna and shit.
Remember the language that Olejchik used, ratioing. It's all about ratioing and getting the bigger ratio,
right?
So they disappear. Right. TYT disappears.
And now these people fucked it up for everyone because now TYT's like, we don't want to amplify anyone else now because we just get backstabbed by those people. Well, guess what? You guys are the last ones to get to looch off TYT, and you fucked it up for any other left streamer who might possibly get some attention.
Anna needs to be deplatformed, and that's why Anna should not be allowed to have.
No, not Anna needs to be deplatformed, but you did have David Dole on the stream saying that Anna's wrong and we need to change her mind and put her in the right way, right? Like kind of some fucking totalitarian fucking 1984 shit. Like, you got the wrong thoughts. We need to change your thoughts. Like,
have a show. And that's not allowed her opinion. Do activism. And no, again, the sum total of Anna Kasparian's work is good. It's a lot of it is fucking activism that stands for trans rights, for queer rights, for LGBTQ.
Right. So it's very odd that you go on a stream and just sit there and laugh when somebody's bashing her and saying "coddle the white girl hour."
Which is interesting that they've also done that to Destiny, because Destiny has a lot of support and advocacy for trans rights as well. And you did the same thing to Destiny.
They got backstabbed by all these people who are pro-trans and totally backstabbing them.
So
that's what they do. But this is what I mean. This is their culture. They do have that even when they're not canceling each other or meaning to, they still have that cancel culture type style, right? Where it's like, no, we got to go on a stream and get all the people against them so they could change their mind, and then it's all good, But if they don't change their mind, then it becomes something like this, right?
plus rights, stands up for Black Lives Matter movement, stuff like that. Again, the Justice Democrats would
constantly slurping up his
not
saliva.
exist if it was not for TYT and Kyle Kalinske, and that's tangible, real world ass fucking political movement that pushes progressive and leftist
Ass.
values.
Real world
That
ass.
stuff
Real world
is
ass.
great. Again, I
Okay.
humble myself
Okay, whatever.
to affect
But then why would you do this, Lance?
Yeah.
parts of U.S. legislation based on getting their people in the game.
Right, but what she wasn't talking about any legislation. So why is that
Yeah.
even coming
That's
up?
fucking
This,
amazing.
you know what? This
Right.
makes me.
You can-
He's basically running cover like we were just being goofy and silly and
Mhm.
having like lols, guys.
That's what you're saying.
So
Oh,
don't
it was
respond
jokes,
to it and
but
get mad. Jokes.
Mm.
It was
But
just
it
a
wasn't
prank,
jokes.
bro.
It wasn't
Okay.
jokes, and this girl literally said she has multiple problems with her, and you're just sitting there not defending her.
I
Not
agree
just jokes.
with everything that Olay was saying.
Right, but if you agree with everything she's saying, then you agree that your two friends were coddling the white woman.
Yeah.
You agree that Anna is being coddled because she's white, which is racist as shit,
Yeah.
you know, and you didn't even defend your friend when somebody's being racist towards her, or your other friends when people were calling her racist basically by saying that.
Yeah.
And you didn't defend her when she was going after her for all the other things. You know what I'm saying? It's saying that, oh, we need to cook her and her friends need to cook her. So you're saying you agree with her. So you agree that you guys need to roast her and go at her
Yeah.
publicly and shame her like fucking Game of Thrones. Or shame,
Shame.
shame. That's basically what you're saying. You agree with.
And
But then saying, we didn't do nothing. I was totally friendly.
And
What?
all of what he was doing before that, the end part of his, we should. She said nothing.
Yeah, that's the
trans guys.
That's
She
the
said
part
nothing
that
anti-trans.
yeah, that's the part that
Fuck.
totally changes it all. Yeah,
I
good
agree.
job, Lance.
Uh,
Good job defending your friend there, Lance.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh
being
my god.
traitors and shitty takes. And honestly,
Right, but if they're your friends, you would go to them first instead of doing a stream where you mock them and
we
insult them.
all
Yeah.
have to fucking normalize and get used to being called out by the very people that we try to stand up for. I have deleted.
But that's what?
Fucking-
Look at that face.
Oh my
I have
God.
to. So we have to go. So therefore, whenever you say something wrong, you have to accept all your friends doing streams and bashing you publicly.
Yeah.
What? We should normalize that? I don't think so, Lance. That would make the world full of douchebags, right? We should normalize friends talking
Who
to
are
each
not
other
douchebags.
and not backstabbing each
Yeah.
other, right? And talking
So
behind each
many
other's
tweets and
backs. That's
videos,
probably something
so
we should
many
normalize.
times. When fucking trans activists, trans content creators drop in my DMs to explain shit to me because I'm a dumbass.
Right, trans content creator. Look, he even said it there. They drop into his DMs. So remember, he's talking about content creators. So those people could have easily punched up a stream
Mhm.
and talked shit about Lance, about his take, but instead they privately DM'd him to let him
Yeah.
know. And now he's using that as an example of what
Should have been done.
maybe I guess what's been done to him, but he's saying, yeah, we should criticize people. Yeah, Lance, the problem isn't the criticism. The problem is that you did it publicly and in a shaming
In a
kind of way, like you were
humiliating way.
shaming them without the defense that you should give a friend, right?
Right.
And even these content creators you're talking about who DM you have the respect for you enough to tell you privately, hey, your take was a little off. Maybe you should adjust. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
What did
exactly.
you mean? You know, they had the respect to DM you. You didn't have that respect.
Mhm.
Lance. That's the exact point
Yeah.
and problem here.
This person who fucks up and be like, hey,
A cis person? They're fucked up. What happens when a trans person messes up, Lance?
Yeah.
Do we cis people get to say something
We
to them?
say
Do we get
nothing.
to DM them and say, hey, you're wrong about,
Yeah.
you're wrong about us. You should change your.
Lance, by the way, just so you know, this is actually kind of a yikesy take.
It's kind of a weird point
It
to
is.
make, right? When cis people get it wrong. What?
What about when trans?
Like, what do you
people
mean?
get
What
it
about
wrong?
when trans people get it wrong? Can cis people tell them something?
Joke, you should be making it as a cis person. I don't feel like, oh, this means war.
No, what
Yeah.
means war is when you backstab them. The
Yeah.
disagreement isn't what means war, right? It's the backstabbing that is. That's why Anna said, I don't even want to have these people on here anymore. She didn't mean that because you disagree with her, Lance. She meant that because you guys went on a stream and talked shit about them,
Right.
right? And didn't defend her, and you didn't go to them first, or whatever, anything that a friend would do. You
No
did not do that.
charitability was
No,
given
yeah.
at
I
all.
went on a stream where somebody treated them with zero charitability, and he gave no pushback to that lack of charitability. Which friends, again, as I said before, friends treat each other with charitability.
Leak the DMs. The woke skulls have come after me yet again. Now
She didn't say. See, this is all straw man voice stuff that he's doing. Anna never said anything about any woke people coming after her or anything. The thing she's complaining about is her friends. She doesn't even care that strangers are calling her out. She doesn't care about that. She's been called out by strangers for the last 10, 15. She's had me blocked for like 3 years because I used to call her out like crazy and she got sick of it and blocked me like 3 years ago. Meanwhile, Lance is sitting here going, the wokes are coming after me. She's never said that. She's talking about her friends backstabbing her.
I will destroy all of them. Fuck you. No.
No, well, they didn't do that. Lancer, who are you talking about? Is that you guys?
Oh shit! Yeah, okay. I mean, yeah, it's difficult, I suppose, in some ways, but on behalf of the daughter I raised, the billions of women on this planet, please stay on your soapbox. So nice to see progressive here. The revolt against trans.
Let me try to move forward a bit. We could start wrapping this up.
Yes.
Yeah, because I think after this, he just goes on this weird Ollie London thing. Weird that half of this is about a trans person. Oh, wait, no, but then it goes back. But this is like he's using this as an example to be like, look at these right-wing trans people and their talking points the same as Anna's. Like, as if that matters. Like we've said before, Broken Clock is right twice a day. Even, in the old days of like the Daily Show, there was this beef between Jon Stewart and Bill O'Reilly, and they would each show would like throw smack at each other and throw shade at each other. But then he had them on, and they were friendly with each other, and they treated each other charitably, right? Like, and even at times he would admit that Bill O'Reilly was right about things and say, a broken clock is right twice a day. Sometimes he's right, and when you close yourself off like this, it just shows your bias, right? In that you can never say that a right winger's ever right. Like that's, there's a bias there. So to say that she's saying the same thing as right wingers, so maybe the right wingers are right about that. Why isn't that a possibility?
That's what Olayemi and everyone else on that show, Matt Binder and myself, we're doing and continue to do. You can even see, like, even this is not mean. I'm not gonna lie.
Which again, I don't even think that take that she said is a right-wing take. Like Jenk said, even the majority of the left agree with that take. It's not a right-wing take. It's a normal human being take. This is what I'm saying. It's a moderate take. This is a regular, average human being would believe this, and is literally what the polls show. Just like the Latinx thing, right? And Anna went on a thing about that, saying, "Stop calling them Latinx, AOC. They don't want it," because like 60-something% of Latinos say they don't want it, and like another 20% like they never heard of it, they don't care, it doesn't make sense to them. Like, so in the end, the vast majority of Latinos don't want to be called Latinx. Stop calling them that. That's not a right-wing talking point. That's just a regular talking point, a regular human being talking point. Same thing with this thing that Anna and Jenk are talking about. That's why he said the polls are saying we're right. The polls are on our side. This is a normal take. This isn't an extreme take. It's not a right-wing take. It's just a regular, normal person take.
I did type out and delete like 30 or 40 different things when I was going to respond. And as time went on, I'm glad that I finally listened to calmer, more reserved Lance, because the initial ones were very mad. And the initial ones were very typical, like...
So hold on. So she said, LOL, let the meltdowns over wanting to be referred to as a woman rather than a birthing person is pretty wild. I'll never apologize for that. Yeah, great for you. Good for standing up for yourself, especially as a biological woman has been fucking lifetime of being told I'm less than. I'm a woman. No apologies. Yeah, good. Stand. Put your foot down. That's great. And then he said, no one in progressive or leftist or activist spaces are demanding. You notice she never said anything about progressives or leftists or activist spaces. So he's already taken it as she's launching an attack against a specific group, which are the group of progressives, leftists, and activists, right? She never mentioned that she's attacking anyone or saying anything to anyone, right? This isn't to a specific person. She's just saying, I will make no apologies for saying that I want to be called a woman and not anything else, right? If they are their trolls, blah blah blah, birthing person is a term is meant to be inclusive, not okay. But none of that really matters. But yeah, bridge burnt.
Full on, just like, oh god.
Yeah, bridge burnt because of that stream you guys did. Straight up, that's why the bridge is burnt. And you had a job there. That you weren't making money off it, but you were getting publicity and stuff.
Kind of shit like that. All right. to this, right? Which no one, they are the trolls. I stand by all of that.
Yeah, you stand by it for no reason because that's nothing to do. Yeah, it's okay. All right, so that's basically what's been going on. There's probably a couple of other more videos out there. Maybe we'll do streams on those later or next week or something, but we'll see. In the end, this is hilarious. I have no doubt TYT is still going to continue to be ridiculous and stuff. I'm working on the new mix. 25 is going to be extra long. But so far it's coming out pretty funny. And yeah, I think that's about it. I think these guys will continue to fight. TYT is not going to have them on anymore, which is hilarious to me that Lance already burnt that bridge as he does with everyone else. And it'll be funny to see if that other thing falls apart. Matt Binder's friends with Emma Vigeland and Minority Report, so it's going to be weird because he was kind of going against Anna, and I don't think Emma's going to continue to go against Anna. No. She had a little beef with Jenk online, but at the end of it, they kind of pieced it up, and they were like, we'll talk about this in private later, which is what should be happening. And I retweeted Emma on that too, and it's like, it's kind of fucked up that you're like just publicly on Twitter arguing with Jake when you're saying Anna's your best friend. Like, well, why don't you just call her and talk about this instead of like tweeting at her? And like, come on, man, these people just do shit publicly, and it's like, if when you guys are friends, you should be doing shit in private. There's no reason why you should be throwing jabs at people in public like that. All right, well, that's about it. Thanks for watching, guys. It's been fun. We'll probably if there's another video we see like this, I think Hassan did one, and there's some other funny ones. Maybe we'll cover those too, but we'll see. Thanks for watching, guys. Later.